All right, everybody, what is going on? We're taking a look here at the new Dokkan Fest coming out for Halloween on JP and Global Dokkan. This is going to be Dokkan Fest Lord Slug. I do have the calcs already on Twitter, so if that is all you are interested in, be sure to go check that out. You don't have to listen to me ramble. They are already right here. Like, literally, just go check me out on Twitter. The calcs right here. I'll show them on screen right now. Let me get the shark out of the way for half a second. There you go. You guys can look at them, okay? We'll break those down in a little bit and actually talk about them. But for those of you who are only here for the calcs, there you go. We got them out of the way. Now nobody can complain like, bro, just like I already did. All right, get over it. Anyway, so Dokkan Fest, Lord Slug, just some things to talk about real quick. If you guys remember back whenever I did the problem with Broly video in Dokkan, I talked about how, the problem with villains in general is that they just don't link well because for whatever reason they have to give all of these villains just 3 links that are just their links that only they have, and that just doesn't really work super well. The nice thing is that Lord Slug's other links, like he's got, Big Bad Bosses, Thirst for Conquest, Fierce Battle, Nightmare. That's a nice little solid 4 grouping of links. He does have his, really garbage, Demonic Ways and Namekians, but he also does have Metamorphosis. So he's rocking, 5 links right here that are really, really solid. Which is really nice. He is leading the new demonic power category. So this demonic ways link, we could see that get buffed here. If you guys are keeping up with Daima, small spoiler here for those of you who are not. Maybe you're waiting for the entire series to come out, whatever. Kind of like again, spoiler, little small spoiler here. Like the main villains of Daima are all from the demon realm. I think they've already talked about that in trailers. So if you've been seeing some trailers and stuff like that, they've mentioned this before, in a breakdown, but just being it's all based around the demon realm and the realm of demons and the demon king and relatives of Deborah and things like that, and how the Namekians are descendants of the demons and etc. etc. Or I guess not descendants, but they're descending from the demon realm, or that's where they originate from. Anyway, so we could see this category start to get buffed as diamond characters get introduced into the game. So as that show develops, this could definitely become a pretty good category. And then I could also see this link becoming a little bit more common with other villain characters, which is going to be good because as we're going to get into it right here, you do actually need 3 or more you actually need 4 or more. So you need 3 other demonic power category allies on the team in order to get Lord Slug's intro buff activated. So it's him plus 3 more demonic power category characters, which means a minimum of 4 on your team. So it does kind of restrict your team building a little bit. That gives you leeway with 3 other characters that you can bring, assuming that you're running double Lord Slug, but we'll get into that in a little bit. So real quick before we hop into Lord Slug, I do want to go over his banner unit. Just, I'm not going to do calcs for this unit right here. I'm just going to kind of go over what their kit is. Their links are pretty just, absolutely horrendous. This is really bad. But at least they do have Demonic Ways, Thirst for Conquest, Nightmare, and Fierce Battle with Lord Slug. That's going to be pretty solid. Attack of the Clones is just terrible. Tag Team of Terror, you're just never going to see that active. That's like a Jason Birder link, so you'll just never see that. And then Loyalty is also pretty bad, but anyway, passive skill, Conversion of the Earth, key to 150%, the stats, high chance to dodge, launches and dish attack has a high chance of becoming a super attack, extreme class allies, 1 key and 30% defense, that's really good, additional 1 key and 30% attack and defense who are also in the demonic power category, so that means that Lord Slug is going to be getting 60% defense, 2 key, and 30% attack support from these guys, which is really good. They get an additional 40% attack and defense, and 4% chance to dodge up to 20% with each attack performed, which is pretty decent. Launches an additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super attack starting from the turn which the character performs the 3rd attack in battle, and launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack starting from the turn in which the character performs their 6th attack in battle, launches an initial super attack if the target enemy is stunned, or if the target enemy super attack is sealed, or if there's an Earthbred Fighter category enemy when attacking. So not too bad. They've got some nice dodge chance. They can get up to 70% chance to dodge. They are a 60% support type unit for defense, which is really good. And they do share 4 out of 7 links with the main Dokkan Fest. I'll definitely take it. This is a pretty solid banner unit. Nothing else to really talk about here. They're really just built to help what's his name. They do heal a little bit, they seal, and they do raise defense for 1 turn, which is nice. Just wanted to get them out of the way real quick right here before we moved on to Lord Slug. Lord Slug does not have that complicated of a kit, as you guys probably could have seen from the calcs earlier. So he's leading Demonic Power, Inhuman Deeds, and Movie Bosses. Finally, we're getting a nice Inhuman Deeds leader. This is like the first one I think that we've ever gotten. Movie Bosses didn't really need a new leader, but it's nice that you can throw a couple of the Brolys on the team. We know how good Tech Carnival Broly is at this point, so just being able to chuck them on the team is going to be really solid for any team that you can ever build them on. We'll have to wait and see what the Demonic Power category is looking like. The data download might hit like in a minute as I'm recording this video, so I may pause and go check that out, assuming that it hits at like the normal global time, so we'll see. Anyway, raises attack and defense for 1 turn is his main, like, super attack effect. I think he also stuns. He has, like, a great chance to stun, I think. But the main thing here is raises attack and defense for 1 turn. So passive skill activates the entrance animation once only. You get 200% attack and reduces damage received by 33% for the rest of battle and creates domain earth. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm dumb. He only... Okay, hang on. I have to revise my calcs. All of you who saw them at the beginning, those are wrong. Hang on. All right, quick update here because I just updated them. Let me hide the shark. So I showed 400% right here instead of 200% on this line and like here and here and here. So these are the updated calcs right here. So my bad. Those of you who saw them at the beginning, listen, 6 minutes in, we got the real calcs. I apologize. Again, I'm pretty rusty right here. It has been a while since I've done some Dokkan calcs, so my bad, guys. I read the intro wrong. Classic Dragon Ball fan. I just read this as 200% attack and defense right here. It's only 200% attack, though. So, again, apologies. My bad. So, 200%, 33%, and you get a domain for 3 turns with 3 or more demonic power category allies on the team. Now, it's an additional 3 or more demonic power categories on your team. So, if you're running Lord Slug as a leader, you'll have both Lord Slugs. Let's say you're running the banner unit, that's 3. You'll need 1 more on the team in order to get this activated. So we'll have to wait and see what the demonic power category is looking like. I assume like Demon King Piccolo is going to be on there. Maybe Piccolo Jr. as well. Maybe just all the Namekians in general, possibly. So we'll see. We'll see what this is looking like. Potentially they give like Giant Lord Slug and Easy A, so you could just throw him on there. We'll see what this is looking like though. So then you just get straight up 2 key and 200% attack and defense and 33% damage reduction at the start of turn. You launch an additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super attack. You get an additional 50% attack and defense with each attack performed up to 200%. So this is going to be passive phase 2 right here. This buff start of turn is passive phase 1. This is also passive phase 1. So this is going to be multiplicative here with passive phase 2. So that's I'm going to start using that terminology right here to help kind of educate the Dokkan fan base and just we need to stop using the term multiplicative buff because it's kind of like a broad term that means more than what people actually think it does, because like super attack effects, right, are multiplicative buffs with like these buffs in here. Like all 3 of those are multiplicative, right? So like this is passive phase 1, this is passive phase 2, and then this is like the super attack phase. And then you have like the domain, that's like a separate phase. So I just think creating a separate distinction in the passive and calling it passive phase 1 versus passive phase 2 is more of a correct terminology, rather than just saying multiplicative, because multiplicative could be a much more broad term. Active skills are multiplicative, super attack effects are multiplicative, the second phase of your passive is multiplicative, so links are multiplicative, your leader skills multiplicative, right? So I think just using passive phase 2 is a more correct term, and that's what I'm going to start using moving forward to refer to these things. So if you're ever curious what I'm talking about, or if you see somebody confused, refer them back to this moment. Maybe you guys can go out there and be like missionaries and start spreading the good words. So anyway, where were we? Foresees enemy super attack within the character's attacking turn, starting from the turn in which the character receives the 5th attack in battle. You get 6% HP whenever HP is 66% or less at the start of turn. Or, I'm sorry, at the end of turn. I mean, that's like... that's not the best ever, but, a little bit of healing can be helpful. And then you get 10% HP healing at the end of the turn. Wait, hang on. Let me go to the next page. Recovers 10% HP at the end of the character's attacking turn, and all allies keep +2 while the domain Earth, Shrouded in Clouds is activated. So, 16% HP healing. The only thing that sucks is that the domain is for 3 turns, which is pretty short. I mean, that's only, 2 rotations if you keep Lord Slug on rotation. That means, like, if you get it on turn 1, it's off by turn 4, which is really fast. So I don't know if I like that. Like, it kind of encourages you to have a Slug in slot 7. I don't know how I feel about this. Let me know y'all's thoughts on this domain. I feel like this should be 5 turns. I'm not really seeing the vision with this personally. He does have an active skill, can be activated when HP is 60% or less, or starting from turn 4 from the start of battle. Massively raises attack and causes its ultimate damage to the enemy. I can't imagine that this is going to be super, like, it's not going to do a ton of damage, because he's not, like, stacking attack or anything like that, right? So, I don't know how much damage this is really going to do or how effective this is going to be. There's also no, like, crit or super effective against all types or anything like that, so this just kind of seems like a big waste to me. But let me know what you guys think about that. So yeah, raises attack and defense. There's his links. There's his categories. If I go to here and I go to their actual page, we can see the second page. So this is the super attack effect. Raises attack and defense for 1 turn. Causes immense damage and great chance to stun. And then this is the domain. You get 15% attack and defense if you're on demonic power. And then super class enemies and allies take increased damage. So, not too bad. Lord Slug right here. Taking a look at his calcs, so this is his defense stat right here, 11,678. You take that by taking his base defense right here, the 7,078, and for STR characters, which he is, you're going to add 4,600 to it for Rainbow, and you're going to add 2,000 to it for 55%, and so that's where you get these 2 numbers from right here. His leader skill, you're going to multiply this number by 5. For links, I just did 40%. That's Big Bad Bosses and Thirst for Conquest. I think those are the 2 that you'll see active most often, but over here on this side, I did kind of do a max, like, juicing of his links right here. So this is 67%, and you can see how I calculated that over here on the side. So that's what's going into that number. And again, the 40%, I'm just assuming these 2, Thirst for Conquest and Big Bad Bosses. Up here, this is with his domain, and then down here on the bottom, this is without the domain. So with domain, without domain, no support, with support, 40% links, all links. So that's kind of why I just labeled this one as juiced, because he's got all of his links activated, and he's getting the 60% support from his banner unit right here. So anyway, back over to the thing right here. So we talked about the links. You're just going to take this, multiply it by 1.4. The reason it's 1.4, right, is you want to take the 58,390 and you want to increase it by 40%. And so if you just took this number and multiplied it by 40%, it'd get you like, I don't know, 23,000 or something like that. 22,000 maybe is about what you would get with this number right here. And if you were to take that, right, like your defense wouldn't go down to that amount, it would be increased by that amount. And so if you include the 1 in the formula right here, it's going to include the base value of 58,390. That's also why the leader skill is being multiplied by 5 instead of 4, is because it's including the base value of 11,678. And you'll notice that as we go out here, all these numbers are probably 1 higher than what you would expect them to be, because again, we do want to include the base value. So right here, this is where I messed up the calcs earlier. I thought it said 400% for his intro buff, but he doesn't get defense from his intro, so the intro is not super impactful. It's just going to give you, well, I guess it is, because it's going to give you some damage reduction, so that is going to matter. So start a turn, though, this is what you'll see, probably about 245k defense, not the craziest. After you get all 4 of his attacks in, he's going to be starting the turn at 735k, which is definitely pretty good. And if you're able to do that while the domain buff is up, then you're going to be at 846. Again, assuming that you just have those links activated and no support. And then from there, all he gets is the 30% from his super attack effect. So you guys can see this guy's defense is definitely not that crazy. I would definitely like to see better for a post-Worldwide Celebration character right here. I think really what I would do to improve this is going to sound dumb, but it's either give him more damage reduction or give him guard. Like, that probably makes him too good, but I don't know. Like, he's already restricted with his team building because you have to run him pretty much with demonic power or demonic power, whatever the new category is called. You already have to run him with like those kinds of characters. So I don't know that it's asking for too much. I mean, you guys can see down here after his intro wears off. I mean, this defense is just kind of like unacceptable, right? Like I don't I'd say double supers probably should be decently common for you. I don't know how often you're going to see triples. But again, he doesn't have like built-in crit. He doesn't have super effective against all types. And he's just not like really doing much for the team either. Like he's not supporting, he's not rainbow orb changing. So I don't know how I'm feeling about Lord Slug right here. Let me know what you guys are thinking about him. Let me know what you think about his banner unit. Let me know what you think about possibly what his team could be. I guess let me check and see if the data download is hit, and we can look and see if the team is hit. All right, I took a look and I didn't see anything on Twitter about the new category. So let me know what you guys are thinking about Lord Slug right here. Again, I apologize for the calcs being off earlier. You know, that's why you got to stick around, right? You never know what I'm going to discover while I'm actually going through the video here. So for those of you who stuck around, thanks for watching. For those of you who didn't, you're not here, so bye. Let me know what you guys are thinking about Lord Slug. I'm not super impressed. This is definitely a major skip. If you're wondering how I would build him, I would say dodge first and then crits. This guy does not seem super impressive. Maybe I'm missing something, possibly, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll just have to wait and see. This isn't him. This is just I had this guy pulled up for the reference on the links, but I figured that I would, you know, pull him up here to look at him. So let me know what you guys are thinking. There's Lord Slug. Look at him glaring at you. I really appreciate you guys watching. Again, apologize for the calcs being off a little bit. And I'll catch you guys next time.